WWE NXT No Mercy was an absolute banger, bell to bell. And let's talk about it right after this. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to WrestleHolics and another edition of Top Rope Commentary. I'm your host, the WrestleLogian Stephen Ramon. Okay, Saturday, September 30th, 2023, NXT No Mercy Premium Live Event. Now, this was an absolute banger of a show from match to match to match to match. The match started off, the card started off with your Baron Corbin versus Braun Breaker. It was actually a pretty good match. Now, I don't know what some people want to say. However, WWE or NXT made the right call, the right decision by having Baron Corbin get this win. Why? He absolutely needed it. I really can't remember the last time I've seen Baron Corbin win a match, especially since he's been down in NXT. Having him go over Braun Breaker was the right call. Not to mention that because the way he went over Braun Breaker, it opens the door for Braun to finish off things with Von Wagner, who probably will be back, if not this week, definitely next week. Let's get into the next match that we're going to talk about, and that's Dominic Mysterio versus Trick Williams. Now, that match, okay, so first and foremost, this was the actual match that I needed to see from Dominic, okay? A match where he actually held his own and did his thing, no help, no interference, just him one-on-one with an opponent. And I can honestly say that I was impressed. Now, if you've been watching this channel for a long time, you know I am not the biggest Dominic Mysterio fan in the world. I'm just not. I thought he was overrated. No, I didn't think he was overrated. I thought he was overpushed. And in some ways, I still feel that way. However, tonight as a competitor, that is what I needed to see, okay? Now, Dom has definitely improved in the ring. It's been kind of hard to see and pick it up, primarily because all his matches always have the funny business going on, whether it's from Rhea, whether it's from Finn, whether it's from Damian, and we've even seen JD McDonough get involved a few times. But tonight on No Mercy, or whenever you're watching this, but No Mercy 2023, yeah, Dominic, that boy did his thing tonight. Having Trick Williams get the win, absolutely the right call. Now, WWE, for a brief moment in time, I was worried, okay, because of the shenanigans. 2 ref bumps in one match. And not only was it 2 ref bumps in one match, typically when you see a 2 ref bump match, you'll normally see 1 ref bump by one opponent, 1 ref bump by another opponent. That wasn't the case, okay? Dom had both ref bumps. And this is a complete side note. What I do not understand for the life of me, what is it about the referee shirt that when a wrestler puts that shirt on, it takes them of all their wrestling ability, okay? Dragon Lee is an actual competitor. We just saw him have a match. All of a sudden, he gets 1 super kick as a special guest referee, and he's just laid out for I think almost 5 minutes maybe. Seriously? That aside, the match was actually good. I thought that was going to screw up the finish. I was worried. However, they didn't. Right call. Now, next match on the card. Hold on, let me make sure I got it right. The next match on the card after that was the Fatal 4-Way Tag Team Championship match. Great. That's all I can say about it. It was a great match. Okay, when you got the 4 hottest teams in NXT, the 2 hottest teams in NXT with the addition of Angel Garza and Humberto, whatever the boy name is, and the new team of OTM, that was an absolute banger of a match. However, but if you've been an NXT fan, you automatically know that any multi-man match is going to be a great match with NXT. I've yet to see a multi-man match that just absolutely bombed. That was a great match, okay? Right call having Tony D'Angelo and Stacks win. OTM, they're relatively new. They cut their teeth. I'm not really too impressed with them for what I'm seeing so far. I think there's potential there. I don't understand the whole alliance with Reggie thing. I'm gonna be real with you. I'm surprised Reggie ain't got fired yet. That's just an honest opinion. But other than that, I'm ready for the Creed brothers to hit the main freaking roster. Okay, let's go ahead and send these boys to the main roster because these boys. Look, send Ivy now, send them to the main roster because the WWE Tag Team Division needs help. And the Creed brothers are the answer to that help. Matter of fact, send them to the main roster and make a super stable with them and Alpha Academy. Take my money, it writes itself. Do it. Now, let's keep rolling. What was the next match on the card? The Heritage Cup. Now, for the Heritage Cup, I really thought that I thought Butch was gonna pull that out. I figured Butch was gonna pull it out because when you looked at earlier in the night, you had Dominic drop the belt to Trick Williams. So that's one NXT title that went back. I also thought that the women's championship match was gonna go differently, but I'll talk about that later. So I really thought that, because I felt as if WWE was in this thing where they wanted to make sure they had a NXT championship being displayed on the main roster at all times. I felt like the Heritage Cup would have been good. However, when I saw how the match ended with Gallus and Joe Coffey getting involved to screw Butch out the win, it all made sense. It all made sense. It only makes sense if we do it this way. If we're getting ready to send Gallus and Joe Coffey to the main roster, that means that their first feud should and probably going to be with Gallus. And I think that we're going to be in for an absolute great time if they do it. I don't know if they are. The way the Heritage Cup match ended at No Mercy, that kind of looks and feels the direction that they're going, but I don't know. The whole Heritage Cup and Noam Dar, I still don't really get the metaphor gimmick. Maybe I'm just lost in the sauce or whatever. But other than that, the match was actually a good match, bell to bell. Next match on the card, keeping this thing moving. Let me see. Carmelo, Hayes, and Dragunov. Okay, so here's one thing that I thoroughly enjoyed about No Mercy, and that is the way that they structured the match card and the show tonight. They had it, I feel, structured really well. You had the match open up, you had the show open up, great. With Corbin, Braun, they did their thing. We kind of came down just a little bit for the North American Championship match, which was great. Then we picked that intensity right back up, going into the Fatal 4-Way Tag Team Championship match. Then, did I miss a match? Oh, the Heritage Cup. The Heritage Cup really served as like a great intermission type match. I'm not saying that none of the match was boring, okay? Because it was great. But what I mean by intermission is it gave you enough of intensity, fast pace, get action, and then brought it down with some technical stuff, slowing it down with the 20-second intervals in between the 6 rounds. And it allows you to kind of calm down a little bit before we went into overdrive to send this thing home. Now, that brings me to Carmelo Hayes and Ilya Dragunov. Oh, my, yo, do I got it? That's all I can say. Matter of fact, that's all I can say, ladies and gentlemen. That is all I can say about Carmelo Hayes and Ilya Dragunov 2. I thought the first time when we got this match, I thought they would not be able to outdo themselves. But by God, they did it. They did it, and they did it wonderfully. That, I don't know. If you're talking about match of the year candidates, both of those matches have to be in consideration. That was a masterful match, a masterful round of storytelling at its absolute highest and purest form, in my humble opinion. Carmelo Hayes showed that he is just more than a flashy, high-flying, technical guy that talks a lot of crap. Carmelo Hayes, on not once, but 2 occasions now, has shown that he can go toe-to-toe with the best and the most hard-hitting guys around, okay? Ilya Dragunov speaks for itself. I have so many different fantasy booking things that I would love to see with Ilya Dragunov that it makes no sense. Now, hear me out. I personally think Ilya Dragunov and Gunther as a tag team, not now but in the future, like he joins Imperium or whatever the case may be, I think that would be a tag team to be reckoned with. However, back to this match. Ilya Dragunov and Carmelo Hayes, absolute match of the year. It was so many times where I was going back and forth. Now, going into it, we automatically knew that Dragunov was going to win. But what they did tonight, they did a masterful job of giving us glimmers of hope that Carmelo Hayes was actually going to pull it off. They did. Oh, my God. And the way that it ended, phenomenal. You can't ask for more. You couldn't ask for more. Now, when I realized that we had got to this match and we still had Becky Lynch versus Tiffany Stratton, I was a little bit worried because the Carmelo Hayes and Dragunov match for the NXT Championship was just so beautiful, so wonderful, so awesome and amazing that I literally had no idea how they intended to follow that match up with Tiffany and Becky. I really almost thought that match was putting too much pressure on Tiffany Stratton, but as you can tell, we're segue into the main event now. It didn't. And I was pleasantly surprised. I do mean pleasantly surprised. Tiffany Stratton held her own in this match incredibly well. She went out here and delivered a main event caliber match like a pro, okay? You can't even tell that Tiffany Stratton has been new to this thing, maybe 2 years now, I think, since she's been in NXT. She, wonderful. Wonderful. Now, let's keep it a buck. I got a problem with Becky Lynch winning this match. I do. I'm not saying that this match is going to bury Tiffany Stratton because it didn't. And I don't think it will because even in the loss, Tiffany Stratton has shown that she is the one to beat, okay, in NXT. I do think that Tiffany will reclaim the NXT Women's Championship. There's no need to worry about Tegan Nox. However, I think what WWE may do, I don't know if they can pull it off next week at Fastlane. It may be too early for Fastlane. However, I think what they're setting us up is for Tiffany Stratton to win the NXT Women's Championship on a WWE main roster premium live event. And if that's the case, sign me up and take my money. However, I need that match to be as good as the one that we just saw tonight. Or No Mercy, depending on when you're watching this. Now, granted, the Extreme Rules stipulation really did help add to the match. And what I mean add to the match, it helped keep the intensity up just enough to compete with what we had previously seen with Carmelo Hayes and Dragunov. Now, if it would have just been a straight back and forth match, they weren't touching that. They absolutely will not. And I'm not going to sit here and pretend like they would have because they weren't. Not saying anything to Tiffany Stratton or Becky Lynch's in-ring abilities, but let's be honest. Dragunov, that boy is a show closer, okay? So, the Extreme Rules stipulation helped a lot. Tiffany Stratton proved that she's just more than a pretty Barbie doll type character. She got dirty. She got physical. There was the one part in the match where Becky was throwing the Barbies. I think that was kind of funny. But all in all, great match, bell to bell. So, my final takeaways coming out of NXT No Mercy 2023. The future is amazing. We got a preview of the Women's Breakout Tournament for some really promising prospects in there. I'm going with Lola Fice, okay? And as we saw, okay, for everyone that was worried about Jade Cargill's name getting changed because all the dirt sheets and rumor mills put the whole little thing out. Oh, WWE has trademarked the name Jada Parker. They're going to change Jade Cargill's name. They're not. Jada Parker is an actual another competitor that's going to be competing in the Women's Breakout Tournament. It would have made no sense to change Jade Cargill's name after you did all the publicity signings that you just signed Jade Cargill. That would be dumb, even for WWE. That would be stupid, even for Vince McMahon. But I digress. NXT No Mercy 2023, it showed us that the future was bright, and more so, it showed us that Triple H era is in full effect. I have a sneaky suspicion about the direction that WWE is getting ready to go within this new TKO partnership holding, and that video is coming soon. However, if you're not subscribed to the channel, then you won't know. So that's going to wrap it up for me. And if you enjoyed this video, you like what you heard, then be sure to subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, share it with a friend, click the bell icon, turn the notifications on. It helps me out in the algorithm. And most importantly, hey, that's it. Until we talk again, I'm your boy, Stephen Ramon, kicking out until next time. Deuces! Ooses!